Welcome to the deep dive. Today, we're taking a really close look at something specific in the law.
We are. We're focusing on what are called aggravating circumstances. Article 14 of the revised Penal Code for those keeping track.
Right, and the core idea, the mission here, isn't about changing the type of crime, is it? It's about the severity.
Exactly. Think of it like this. These 21 factors, they don't turn theft into murder. What they do is show a higher level, a greater degree of perversity or malice from the offender.
So the punishment gets ramped up because the way they did it or their mindset was worse.
Precisely. It justifies a harsher penalty, reflecting that increased, depravity.
Okay, let's unpack some key ones. Betrayal seems like a big theme, starting with factor 1, abuse of public position.
Yes. This is about someone using their official job, the influence, the power that comes with it, to actually commit the crime or make it easier to commit.
So it's not just like an off-duty police officer committing a crime. It has to be linked to their job.
Right. They have to leverage that position. It's a fundamental betrayal of the public trust placed in them. Like a jail guard using their authority to assault an inmate. That's the kind of thing we're talking about.
But simply using, say, their service firearm isn't automatically enough, is it? The sources mention that limitation.
Correct. It's about abusing the authority or influence, not just the tools that might come with the job. It's a nuanced point, but crucial.
Okay, that's betrayal of public trust. What about personal trust? Factor 4, abuse of confidence and ungratefulness.
Ah, yes. This one hits differently, doesn't it? It's about violating a close, trusted relationship.
How does the law make sure it's not just, any relationship? What are the specific elements?
Good question. There are 3 things needed. First, the victim obviously had to trust the offender. Second, the offender abused that trust. But critically, third, and this is key, that abuse of trust must have made the crime easier to commit. It had to facilitate it.
Facilitate, like the classic example of a caregiver harming the person they're supposed to be looking after.
Exactly that. The trust is the very thing that lowers the victim's guard, making the crime possible, or easier. The relationship itself becomes sort of weaponized.
Okay, moving from betrayal to more calculated acts. Evident premeditation, factor 13. This sounds like cold, hard planning.
It is. Premeditation means there's proof the offender didn't just act spontaneously. They conceived the crime, they reflected on it maybe over hours, days, even longer, and then they deliberately went ahead with it.
So there's a period for reflection, a chance to back out, but they stick to the plan.
Precisely. It shows a coldness, a determination that the law views as more reprehensible than acting in the heat of the moment.
And related, but looking backward, is recidivism, factor 9. This is about repeat offenders, right?
Yes, but with a specific legal twist. It's not just any repeat offense. The offender must have been previously convicted by final judgment of another crime under the same title of the Penal Code.
Same title. What does that mean practically? Like property crime followed by another property crime?
You got it. Crimes against persons, crimes against property, crimes against chastity, the law groups them. So if you're convicted of theft and then later commit robbery, both under crimes against property, that's recidivism. It shows a persistence in that type of criminal behavior.
Okay, let's shift to the methods used. Treachery, or alavosia, factor 16. This one sounds particularly nasty.
It is often considered one of the most serious. Treachery is about how the crime is committed. It means using methods that directly ensure the crime is carried out without any risk to the offender from any defense the victim might put up.
No risk to the attacker, because the victim couldn't possibly fight back.
Exactly. The offender deliberately chooses a method that makes the victim completely defenseless. Think attacking someone while they're asleep or bound, or hitting them suddenly from behind without any warning. Absolute vulnerability exploited.
That's chilling. And then there's violating the home. Factor 3, insult or disregard of the dwelling. Why is the location itself aggravating?
Because your home is meant to be your sanctuary, right?
Mm-hmm.
Your place of peace and safety. Committing a crime there violates that fundamental sense of security.
Makes sense. But there's a catch, isn't there? Something about provocation.
Yes, a crucial one. This only applies if the victim, the owner of the dwelling, didn't give sufficient and immediate provocation. If you start a fight in your own home, you can't then claim the sanctity of the dwelling was violated when the other person commits a crime against you in response to that provocation.
Right. The protection has limits. Now, all these details are fascinating, but why is it so important procedurally to define them? Why can't a judge just decide these apply after hearing the facts?
Due process, hugely important. For any of these aggravating circumstances to actually increase a sentence, they must be specifically alleged, written down in the official charging document, the complaint or information.
So the accused knows exactly what they're up against from the start.
Precisely. They need to know every single factor that could increase their penalty so they can prepare a defense against it. If the prosecution forgets to allege, say, treachery, even if the evidence later shows it, the court generally can't consider it for sentencing. It's a fundamental fairness protection.
So wrapping this up, Article 14 is really about ensuring the punishment truly fits the crime. Not just the basic act, but the malice, the planning, the betrayal involved.
It forces a deeper look, ensuring justice is proportionate to the real gravity of the offense.
Which leaves us, and you, with a final thought to consider. We've talked about different kinds of depravity codified here.
Indeed. So which reflects worse on human nature? Is it the intimate betrayal of Factor 4, abusing deep personal confidence? Or is it the cold exploitation of Factor 16, treachery, attacking someone utterly defenseless? Both are terrible, both increase the penalty, but think about which one signifies a deeper moral failing.